Are we live? I think we might be live. All right. So I wanted to make a guide on the build that I cleared with yesterday, and then I'll show a video of the clear as well and talk through it a bit. So that's the plan. So we will start with, let's have a look at the leaderboard of Typhon, and most builds at the top. Well, we should first note that very few people have pushed a lot with Typhon, but the few that have, and if you look at previous seasons as well, you will see quite similar builds, and it's often this kind of things. And in particular this season we have 3 cube slots, meaning we can put whatever we want in the 3 cube slots, and in particular it means that we can put extra weapons in here. So the 2 weapons here are mandatory, right? Serpent Sparker and Fragment of Destiny, and normally you would play with Winter Flurry, although it's a common option to use Orb of Infinite Depth instead. This season we don't have to choose between them, we can play both of them. And that's a nice buff, right? Because we get the 2.5 times damage bonus from Winter Flurry, but at the same time get the smaller 1.4 times damage bonus, but also with an 80% damage reduction. And this 80% damage reduction is the same as Halo of Carini that's normally used. And when you use Orb of Infinite Depth, you then have the option of either keeping Carini and just be like super tough. You'll have just an extra 5 times extra toughness, and you can make huge pulls, stand in the middle of the pull, and you get a lot of value out of area damage. Or, as in the case here, you drop Carini. So we're in Conversion of Elements and Ring of Royal Grandeur here, this guy. And that means that we get an extra skill slot because we don't need Storm Armor, and we need an extra item slot as well because we don't need the ring. So the extra item slot here is just keeping Tusker and Theo. This one here is a big multiplier, right? We always want to use that one. But now we can add in Tusker and Theo as well, which is an extra 1.5 times multiplier. And we get to put in Black Hole as well. With Absolute Zero, that's a quite big buff, especially during the Rift, because you can catch a lot of people in the Black Hole, and it could be up to like 1.5 or even 2 times damage if you manage to pull like 40-50 into a single Black Hole. And it's a good CC as well. It pulls enemies together, which means that they're not attacking you, and it means you get more area damage while they're in the Black Hole. So this is a good option, especially if you're fairly high Paragon, right? You can stay alive without the extra toughness. At lower Paragon, like this guy here, just below 2000, has similar setup with both of Orb of Infinite Depth and Winter Flurry, but choose to keep Halo of Carini here. Ring of Royal Grandeur instead. And still has Tusker and Theo and Magistrate, but give up Convention of Element. So that means that you have Blizzard here, and otherwise it's the same, right? So you miss Convention of Element. Wait. So which skill was the other one using instead? Instead of Storm Armor, what does this guy have? Oh, Deflection. Does the other guy not have Magic Weapon? Yeah, there's no magic weapon here, so this one has only shields from barrier blades. So you lose a bit of damage from that, that's like 10% damage, and you lose 50% damage from conventional element. And you become a bit squishier as well with that magic weapon, but on the other hand, you're super tanky, right, with these two. So these are mostly these two options that's been on the leaderboard. What I've been doing instead is similar in a way, in that I still have both Infinite Depth and Winter Flurry. And I'm not using Storm Armor and Carini. I keep Conventional Element and Ring of World Grandeur. But instead of taking in Tasker and Theo and Black Hole, I'm using Deathwish together with Arcane Torrent. So this is a much bigger multiplier, right? This is more than a 4 times multiplier. And it's just a lot more raw damage. The caveat is that I need to be channeling, so it's a bit more messy to play. But since it becomes a bit bursty, right? Like the damage is only switched on when I channel, it plays in pretty well with Convention of Element. So that's why it's a bit more difficult to play, but I believe it has much higher potential just because this is such a big multiplier. Otherwise, the setup is essentially the same as the others, I think. The only adaptation is adding in Unwavering Will, because we'll be standing still and channeling through the damage cycle. So the idea here is that we want to channel through the cold cycle, and it takes 1 second for Deathwish to switch on. So we need to start channeling 1 second before cold cycle, which is 3 seconds into Arcane. So there we need to start channeling. The buff from Fragment of Destiny lasts 5 seconds, and Blizzard lasts 6 seconds. So that means that when it's 2 seconds left, we need Blizzard and then swipe. So when it's down here, it's Blizzard, swipe, channel, and then keep channeling through the cold cycle, and then we can keep playing afterwards at the end of the cold cycle. So this is what's happening. I can show a bit what happens. Between cycles, you want to just put your hydras up. We have the flashes of insight. We need to get up on time. And then if the enemies are around here, we start swipe, channel. And then we channel through cold cycle. And then we can keep swiping afterwards. So that's the general principle. And then with Explosive Blast, you want to keep hitting things to keep the buff up as well, right? And that's a separate thing, but it's quite difficult. Note that Explosive Blast does not break the Deathwish channel, so you can channel through and throw Explosive Blast in the same time, and we don't lose Deathwish, which is not the case for like recasting Hydra or Spectral Blades or anything like that. So that's the basic idea. Otherwise, you play it as normal. We don't have any CC, so we just need to body pull, try to make a big group. Place our Hydras between the damage cycles, try to pull in as many as you can. And then when you see, you look at the conventional element cycle. Blizzard, swipe, and then we channel through. And then it's done. So you get used to it. It's difficult to keep track on what's happening on the screen, while at the same time you kind of need to stare at your conventional element cycle a lot as well. But once you've played it a bit, you kind of get used to it. So let's go and have a look at the actual clear and see how this is applied. Let's see if I can get OBS to change over to my video instead. Alright, I think this is it. Yes, this looks about right. So this is, I streamed the clear yesterday, and I think this should be the one. Yes, there was an or extreme. Desert is normally not an amazing map, but in or extreme they've increased the density by a lot, like really a lot. It's always packed with monster. For an or extreme mob composition, this is not amazing. There are these little small I don't know, cultists or something that are okay. They group in and they die to area damage easily, but it's not a lot of progression. Well, you see all the archers here on the outside. They just stand and shoot, and they don't really like go into the group in the middle. And since I don't have any CC to pull them in, it's hard to kill them, and they just stand there and shoot me, and it's kind of annoying. So when I'm not happy with that, it's nice to get 2 blue ones pretty early on. I have since this is an area damage build, it's much easier to kill blues than to kill yellows. So I'm getting what's called the Fallen Overlord, I believe, the ones that come out of pylons, and then these big Armadon stuff as well. So I'm struggling, I'm taking some damage here, right? You see my health globe, and this is a shield-based build with squirts. I never want to take any damage whatsoever, because that means I'm losing half of my damage from squirts. So moving health bar, as you saw there, it means that it's not going to be a good cycle. So the bad mob type and me losing squirts several times first few cycles, see progression is kind of really bad now. Right now it doesn't feel good. Like I was happy about the 2 blues, and or extreme is always exciting, but I was like, this doesn't look very promising so far. We see that it's splitting up here, so it might be a 4-corner, but it's not really clear yet. So I'm just going a bit slow here. As things clear out, it's easier for me to connect with the blues. Also, here's another group of blues, so that's again easy to kill. So we have a total of 3 groups of blues following here. And I am trying to get them to come along. I'll go back to a blizzard at them, hope to aggro between cycles. And you see on the cycle here now, blizzard, channel, and then I sacrifice 1 second of the channel to run into the Oculus ring to get a slightly shorter channel, but with extra damage. So that's also like an adaptation you have to do a bit on the run. That if you see an Oculus ring, it might be worth to sacrifice up to 1 second of your damage cycle to get the channel while the Oculus ring is up. Keep in mind that you can't move while channeling, right? So if the Oculus ring is about to run out, then don't bother. And the same way with potions as well. Try to use the potions 1 second into arcane, because it lasts for 7 seconds, the ring coming out of the potion. So that way it lasts throughout the cold cycle, and you have 3 seconds to get in the ring as well after you press the button. So we see here, we've still behind on progression, but we have 3 blues here, I believe, that all are almost dead. You killed one of them now, and we almost caught up, and the other 2 are very close to dead. I choose to not waste another cycle to finish off those 2, instead just move a screen ahead, start our next pull, and hope that the blues follow, or if they don't, I can go back and get them between damage cycles. So I'm trying like to spend the time between damage cycles, trying to pull more mobs in. So you can see the blues at the back there. I think one of them maybe died, the other one didn't, but it's essentially done already. They just have to happen to run into the area of effect of the hydras. See them at the bottom here. There's a yellow instead. I'm focusing more on the yellow and hoping that the trailing blues will just die by themselves without me targeting them in particular. So this one is turning up here, starting to look like probably a 4-corner. I haven't had a pylon yet. We are at 25%, and the chance is increasing, right, as you get more progression. And at 33% or 34, you're guaranteed to get a pylon. So we're at 37 now, so we are guaranteed to get the pylon if we just run ahead to next pylon spawn point. And a Conde here would be amazing, right? And I could just like get all the rest of the elites on the map and step all of them, but get the shield instead. The shield kind of is not that bad, because this is a quite squishy build, right? I didn't double up on Carini. So that means that I actually can stand in the middle, and I'll always have squared up, so I still want to like pull in as many elites and things as I can before I take the shield pylon. So here I didn't fully explore the 4 corners, but there's a yellow zombie in there, trying to get all the minions along as well for the extra globe, but I don't want to waste too much time on it. So I'm essentially just like trying to pull this towards the shield pylon now, so I can kill this yellow together with the other yellow that was back there, and I don't know if the trailing blues actually were killed or if one of them is still around. I think I killed both of them. So it's just slow pulling. It's quite narrow here, right? And it's difficult to pull because they get CC'd by the hydras. So when I want to move them, I need to first move the hydras away from them. But even when I do it like that, right, I can only walk to where I place the hydras again. So if I want to really move them, the best way is what I do now, put the hydras behind them, and then just run forward and hopefully they'll follow. And we see on the top of the screen here that the minions are coming, and the yellow is coming in there as well. So now we have all the yellows we want on the shield pylon. So just have a quick look forward. See, there are no elites here, but may as well pull the trash in. This was so now I feel ready, and I start the shield pylon and try to kill off the 3 yellows with the one coming out of the pylon. So I'm going to generate a lot of progression here, but what I should have done is explore all the way to the exit, because the exit is just a few screens down right from here, right? And I'm very likely to spawn a pylon there with what I'm doing now, because I'm generating progression now that will make it more likely to spawn like just by the exit. And I don't want, say, like a Condi just at the end of the map, right? I want my Condi on the next floor instead. Would be much more convenient. So that's straight up misplay here. But nonetheless, I'm getting really good damage in on the elites here. Killed off all of the trash, essentially. Killed one of the yellows. There are 2 yellows left. One of them is pretty high health, but progression is doing okay. We're ahead, but not by a lot. The Rift Guardian previous attempts have been around 3 minutes, 2-3 minutes, depending. But that's been without like a power pylon. I think with a power pylon it would be much faster. So here it's only the 2 yellows left, and I kind of I choose to pull them towards the end here. I'm not really sure what I'm hoping for. Maybe get a bit more trash here. And this is exactly what we didn't want, right? Now we get the Condi at the end of this floor. While if I had explored there, then that Condi would be on next floor instead, and we could use that one for elites on next floor. So that was a mistake. So we get the 2 yellows here, they follow. And what I'm doing now is that I'm going down to next floor and try to collect elites just at the entrance here, so I can do like a double stop. I'll click the Condi upstairs, kill off the elites there, and then ideally I can pull a couple of elites to the entrance here, so I can kill those as well with the same Condi. And that should then be enough. Probably let's spawn a Rift Guardian, but it's only 41% left. This is another desert map, but this is an amazing mob type. It's extremely high density, as it is on this map, but grotesques are so good. So good, so I was sad that this wasn't floor 1. And I'm also quite keen to just stop here on DPS and generate progression, because as you see now everything explodes, so I don't want to stand in those explosions and running out. But now, yeah, so now I'm a bit annoyed because the trash is amazing, but I only found that one group of blues here, and I'm quite far from the entrance, so like, even if I find another yellow here, it would be quite a big project to pull it all the way back. And so here I find another yellow, and I decided to pull that like on 5 screens or something, whatever it is, to the entrance, and that's almost certainly not the right decision. I should probably just like maybe clear some trash here, get some progression, and then go up and take the Condi straight away. But instead I kind of stay here and waste time trying to get that yellow to run to the... Like, if I'd been at 20% progression, then I think this would be fine, but we have two yellows upstairs already, right? And there will be one from the pylon. So that will be close to 20% progression, or like 15. And yeah, we don't need these yellows. I'm kind of at this point when I play, I think I'm a bit confused. Like, I see progression slipping away from me. Like, the timer here is getting... Like, I'm actually behind now. But yeah, I think at a certain point I decide like, no, I really have to go. I need that Condi is way too late. I still need to kill the Rift Guardian. So I think I just go here. I see a lot of good trash here, and I don't want to waste a cold cycle, so I spend a cold cycle here. The idea is I don't have to kill them, right? Even if I just damage them a bit, then it'll be much quicker to kill them with the Condi afterwards. So I'll come back in a bit. So just put the hydras up for CC and damage reduction, and then we kill them here. So now it's just, I don't even bother DPSing here, I just stay alive. You see progression here, right? We're at 82 already, 88, and with this one going to be in the 90s. Like, I really didn't need that yellow, I don't even need the blue, right? Just the trash here, and now like, oh wait, I have a new pylon coming, I need to get a power pylon for the Rift Guardian. So now I'm just panic running into an explorer to get the pylon. And I do get the pylon. It's not the power, but speed is also pretty good for the Rift Guardian. And I also decided last second that I wanted to take the speed pylon before the Rift Guardian spawn, so I wouldn't have to deal with the elite. But I was half a second too late. And since I still have the Condi going, it really doesn't matter, right? Because they die so quickly anyway. But yeah, I have my speed pylon now, so that's more damage, and it's faster stricken stacking. And this is actually a really good Rift Guardian as well. It doesn't deal a lot of damage, and as you see here, this is actually a kind of resource-starved build on a single target, because the arcane power on critical is very important to keep up, because we're casting a lot of resources on channeling. Or we just don't get enough against single target, but luckily this one is spawning the little spiders that I can attack, and that one keeps my resources up. And it's also generating Oculus rings and area damage, of course. So you see here that like do more than a quarter in one cycle. So now I was a bit freaking out at the end that I wouldn't make it, but now I see I'm just one cycle away from it. And now you see the last damage cycle, and we get to clear. So it was quite a lot of misplays, but in the end, actually managed to get it done. So yeah, that's the current rank 1 clear on North America Typhon leaderboard, season 37, I believe. The game is pretty dead now, so it doesn't mean a lot, but I haven't seen people use this build, so I just wanted to make a quick guide for how it's played. So I think that's it for me here. Thank you very much, and enjoy your pushing.